What's up, welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of Tommy Richman's debut album, Coyote. Tommy Richman came out of nowhere in a mainstream sense to many earlier this year off the rapid rise of his monster hit single, $1 Million Baby, a song that would grow viral via snippet form on TikTok like many songs have, but then ratcheted itself all the way up to debuting at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 earlier this summer. Very much one of the songs of summer 2024. And then Tommy followed that up pretty soon after with another song that was viral to a lesser degree, but still a hit in all sense of the word, in Devil Is a Lie. And both of these songs from Tommy Richman stood out for just effortless melody, very catchy vocals, and very noticeable falsetto singing on the part of Tommy. And Tommy Richman was not someone I had been paying attention to much, although I had heard him before, namely on Brent Faiyaz's album last year on the song Upset. And Tommy Richman has since signed to Brent's ISO Supremacy label. Despite the Brent connection, I had not been checking for Tommy, but following the success of $1 Million Baby and Devil's a Lie and Upset, which was my favorite song off Brent's Larger Than Life last year, a lot of anticipation had kind of came out of nowhere for the Tommy Richman debut album. And Tommy Richman, to his credit, took his time, didn't immediately rush out the album, and I think even more admirably, certainly a display of confidence, he did not include $1 Million Baby or Devil's a Lie on the Coyote track list. Definitely a measure of confidence in his own music, but he clearly wants to be more than just a TikTok artist, a ringtone, so to speak. And if you go back and listen to some of those early Tommy Richman EPs, you can tell this is already a guy who's been, genre experimenting. He is not just out of nowhere amateur musician by any means. That being said, the expectations were, I think, pretty high, and the curiosity level, at the very least, was pretty high. So I think there was a lot riding on Coyote. Ultimately, Tommy Richman's debut album, Coyote, is just okay. Off the massive hype with $1 Million Baby and Devil Is a Lie, there was high expectations for this album, and really more than anything, a desire for Tommy Richman to display a longevity, a musical identity that we could invest in moving forward once the TikTok attention had waned. In that regard, Tommy Richman is somewhat successful. Tommy is a successful singer when it comes to melody, catchiness, mood, vibe. Unfortunately, I think he still is grasping for a bit of an identity, which makes sense as someone who has genre experimented a lot already. A lot of his songs are still pretty formless. He leans on the falsetto a lot. If you think about the discourse from some of the more recent singles in the lead up to Coyote, the charge of being a bit samey has come up. I wanted to be grabbed a bit more by Coyote. I think he almost played it a bit safe and leaned out of some of his hip hop influence. That being said, there are still highlights on this album. I think the song Temptations in particular is a banger. The chorus explodes with the beat on that song. The way Tommy howls on the song Whitney also really grabs you. The song Give It All definitely has those earworm melodies that we've come to associate with Tommy. So he's very much a work in progress to me, but I'm still interested because I think when he's making something really catchy and grabbing, it's fun. I really enjoy it. I think if Tommy can perhaps learn at the feet of his label head Brent Faiyaz, I think that will go a long way. Honestly, they're kind of a great match because Brent's very much a self-made man himself and has paved his own way to massive success. It sounds like Tommy wants to go down a similar path, but I think Tommy also has a lot to learn in terms of really crafting that sound. I think a potential lane for Tommy also would be shown on at the end of Coyote, the song Letterman, the song Green Therapy, very groovy, and I think the vibe is just a little bit different, a little bit of a different flavor than what we're used to, Maybe even like a song like Tennessee, where the bass hits just a bit deeper. Ultimately, though, I think his bread and butter will remain being really sticky with the vocals, and he'll probably live and die by how catchy that songwriting ends up being. So remains to be seen in that regard. I think Coyote is just okay, but there was enough on here. A song like Temptations really stood out. There's enough on here to make me continue to be invested, and certainly not going to put him in a flash in the pan category. That's not the case at all. But yeah, let me know. What did you think of Tommy Richman's debut album, Coyote? Are you happy? Are you disappointed? Are you waiting for more? Let me know. And for more music reviews, subscribe. And I'll see you next time.